Coach, the weekly podcast where people reach their goals and develop confidence one mind shift habit at a time. Let's join our host, certified coach Christina.
Hello, we are live on this episode of Conversations with Coach, and I am so excited that you have joined us. I would like to welcome you to another episode of this podcast. This is your weekly podcast that helps you to live your best life by shifting your mindset. If this is your first time joining Conversations with Coach, welcome. I am your host, certified mindset and confidence coach, Christina Calloway. I partner with athletes, parents, and coaches, and together we develop the tools to increase their confidence and achieve their goals both on and off the field of play. So if you are, one of my regulars, you hear me talking often about gymnastics. And last year, I actually got a great opportunity to partner with the first HBCU to bring a gymnastics program, and that is at Fisk University. Now, if you're joining and you're not really sure what HBCU stands for, is historically Black colleges and universities. And up until last year, it wasn't for. Sorry about that. We just had a little bit of technical difficulty there. Um, so up until last year, any gymnast of color would have to choose to go to a PWI, predominantly white institution, to continue with their gymnastics on the collegiate level. And now we are looking at not only one, but we're adding a second HBCU in Talladega. They're going to actually be starting their program. And I had the pleasure of being the mindset and performance coach for Fisk Gymnastics. And on this episode, we are joined by two of their athletes. I'm so excited to talk with these ladies and just us chop it up about the season and everything that was going on. So let's welcome them in. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Hello. I know Naimah was having some audio challenges. So we're going to send out just lots of positive energy and prayers that her audio is going to work for us. But thank you all so much for joining me here on my podcast, and I'm excited for us to have this conversation. Congratulations on your inaugural year and just being amazing. You all were just not only the first HBCU, but you also competed in NCAA competitions, which that in and of itself is so difficult. But before we kind of dive into that and talk about what went on this year, I want you to take I want to take this opportunity for you to introduce yourselves, because I didn't on purpose do your introductions. So we're going to start first with Morgan Price. Hi, Morgan. Can you introduce yourself and tell a little bit about your gymnastics career and how everything got going for you?
Yeah, so hi everyone. My name is Morgan Price. I am a gymnast at Fisk University, which is the first HBCU gymnastics team. I was born and raised in Lebanon, Tennessee, and I started gymnastics at Intrigue Athletics. A couple years later, my dad unfortunately passed away due to a motorcycle accident, and my mom and my other two sisters, who also do gymnastics, she moved us out to Texas just because she wanted us to have a better opportunity for gymnastics. So we moved out to Texas for a couple of years, and then I ended up committing to the University of Arkansas. But then I saw that this gymnastics was, coming out the first HBCU gymnastics team, and I have always wanted to go to an HBCU and do gymnastics at the same time. But before last year, I wasn't able to do that. But now, I decommitted from Arkansas and I committed to Fisk, and now I'm here after my first freshman year of college gymnastics.
And it was a very good freshman year, I might add. You
Yes.
set all kind of records for Fisk, and you just had a wonderful season. Now, you did mention that you had accepted and committed to Arkansas. And then when Fisk announced that they were going to have their program, you decommitted. What was that like?
It was an interesting process, actually. So I did have to call the head coach at Arkansas and tell her over the phone why I was decommitting, and thankfully she was understanding, and I had to explain my side of why I was decommitting from a big time SEC school because it's not very common to do that. So after I had the conversation with her, she was understanding, and she was just super proud and happy for me for doing what like I wanted to do and just to follow my dreams.
Absolutely. And that had to make you feel a little nervous because, after all, it's only a small percentage of athletes, no matter what sport you're in, that get the opportunity to actually get college scholarships,
Right.
right? And so, by the fact that you actually got one, and then you got a second offer from Fisk, that had to make that decision a little bit harder because, as you said, you were kind of worried about how it was going to be taken. You also mentioned that it's not something that happens when people decommit, and I didn't think it did, but it seems like recently that's happening a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree.
So talk about, like, when you came to that decision before you contacted the coach at Arkansas, because we've got people that are watching whose daughters have an aspiration to do college gymnastics. So share a little bit about that particular process of getting the offer and then, saying, okay, now I really want to go to the school.
Yeah. So for college recruiting, you can start contacting coaches after your sophomore year of high school, like June 15th of your sophomore year. So after that, I started to like take some official visits and go visit colleges, talk to coaches, and like do all that type of thing. And so after a few months, so originally I was a graduating class of 2023. So I'm supposed to be graduating high school now, but
Mhm.
I actually finished high school early and was offered a scholarship to Arkansas to go early or to do my year as well. So I was just overly blessed and thankful for that opportunity first. I want
Yes.
to put that out there. I was super grateful for that. And so I committed to Arkansas, and I was committed there for a couple months. But then again, after I saw that, I was like, oh no, like I really want to go here, but I have to tell this coach that I really want to follow my dreams and, be a part of history and go to the first HBCU with the gymnastics team. So I had a conversation with my mom and my JO coaches at the time, and they just really
Mhm.
helped me through that as well. And then after I had, again, the conversation with her, she was understanding, and I
Mhm.
was just super grateful for that as well because I knew that they wanted me. And obviously I wanted to go there too, but I had like
Right.
other dreams and goals that I wanted to achieve. And they were just super supportive of that.
That is awesome because, like you said, it's a dream come true either way you look at it, and then you had another wonderful opportunity. So it was being in between two, and you definitely made the best choice for yourself. Naimah, do we have sound? I think you might be muted. Let's see. Okay, there you go. Hi, Naimah. You
Sorry,
all don't
that was very
even
stressful.
know, like, what we just went through to make this happen. But hey, we're athletes
Hi.
and we don't give up easily, do we?
No.
That is so amazing. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you
Kind
for
of
having
following.
me.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. The honor is all mine. Trust me when I tell you that. So Morgan shared a little bit, introduced herself to the audience, and I want you to do the same. Share a little bit about how you got started in gymnastics, just all the things.
Okay, so hi everybody. I am Naimah Muhammad. I'm 20 years old from Rochester, New York, and I currently attend Fisk University for gymnastics. And so I got started in gymnastics. I actually started out as a figure skater. And I was ice skating when I was around 8 years old. And I actually got pretty bored with it kind of quickly. And it was a fun experience, but I just don't think it was for me, honestly. And my parents, they have more memories of me when I was younger, but they always said that I would be running around the house going really fast. And I would be jumping off the couch doing cartwheels and stuff like that. And I stopped doing ice skating for a while because I just got really bored with it. So I remember I was watching TV in the summer, and I saw gymnastics on TV, and I had never seen that before. And I particularly saw it was Gabrielle Douglas, and she was on floor, and she was humbling and twisting and flipping, and I just saw that, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. I don't know what it is, but I want to do that. So,
How old were you when that happened? How old?
9. I was 9 when that happened. So it was in 2012. I was like 9, turning 10, and that's considered late starting gymnastics.
It is.
But so that's when I started, and I went to my club gym, Bright Raven Gymnastics, and that's been my gym like forever. A lot of gymnasts they switch between gyms. That has been the only gym, my only club gym, like my entire life.
Wow.
So I stayed there. I loved it immediately, and I started moving up and got older a lot. And when it came to college, I was in the midst of the COVID. My high school graduation was during COVID and everything, and I had plans to go to these big D1 schools, but when COVID happened, I had to kind of go to a smaller school. So I went to University of Bridgeport for gymnastics, and it just didn't work out. I think COVID really had a big impact on my experience there. So I only stayed for about a month, and then I left the school, and I came home, and I didn't finish fall semester for college. I missed out on my fall semester because it wasn't in the right mindset, and I think COVID really did take a toll on me and my gymnastics, and I stopped training for that entire semester. So for about over 4 months, I just wasn't doing gymnastics.
Right.
So I transferred from Bridgeport to SUNY Brockport because John Feeney, the coach there, I knew him since I was like little doing gymnastics. So he invited me on his team, and then he retired, and I was really sad because I was like, why would you recruit me and then retire? But we got a new coach, Dr. Renee List, and she's been our coach. She's the new coach there, and I really did enjoy my time at Brockport. I was really unsure about it, just because I did want to go away from home because, I've been living here my whole life. I wanted to experience something. I was homeschooled my whole life. So I did want to go out of state for my college experience. And I remember I was in the cafeteria. It was in the middle of our gymnastics season. I've been competing. I was only competing floor every single week. And I remember I was sitting in the cafeteria with my friend Peyton, one of my teammates, and she was going on Instagram, and we saw the Fisk Gymnastics, and she was like, what is this? What is this? What is this? And we looked it up, and they announced the HBCU. And I had mentioned to her at the beginning of the semester how I did want to go to an HBCU, but they didn't have gymnastics, so I transferred all over the place. And we talked about it, and I remember her telling me if they did do the HBCU gymnastics team, you should go. And then a couple months later, it happened. So I was really unsure about transferring because I feel like I just transferred and I started to enjoy the team I was at. And she kind of looked at me and she was like, I think you're going to transfer again. And you're going to transfer again. You're just denying it now. So after the season ended, we went home and I was training at my club gym. And I just kept seeing things about this gymnastics. They announced the coach. They announced the girls that were going on the team. And I would look them up on Instagram and see their gymnastics. I'm like, oh my gosh. Then they announced Morgan was going to do it, and it was so crazy because I saw it on the news. I was watching TV and I saw it on the news, and I was like, "Why in the world would this girl leave Arkansas to go to this tiny school in the middle of Tennessee?" I didn't understand it. So that made me really curious about Fisk, and the more I learned about it, the more I decided I think I'm gonna go. So I talked to my coach. I let her know I'm not gonna come back for the next season. I think I'm gonna transfer. I'm gonna Fisk, and now here I am.
You're so cute.
And Naimah, you cannot say this, but Naimah was the first ever gymnast to compete.
She was. I was just getting ready to say that, Morgan. Thank you. There's just so
Thanks,
many
Morgan.
firsts. Like there's first for you all representing HBCUs, but then there's another thing when you're at that competition and you're on your first event, someone is going to be first. And it happened to be
That was
Floor,
me.
and it was Naimah. So tell me about the pressure, or if you felt pressure for that, because golly.
I felt pressure. So we were in the airport. I can't remember if we were in Nashville Airport. I think we were in Nashville Airport. I don't know if we were in the airport. And I was just minding my business, reading my book. I still got school stuff to do. So
right.
And Coach T called me over and she was like, Naimah, come here. And I thought I was in trouble or something. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, oh, okay. I don't know what this is. And it was her and Russell. They were sitting and they were like going over, lineups and stuff like that. So she let me know, so you're going to be competing Floor. And she said, we just want to let you know now that we're kind of thinking about having you go first. And she knows that I'm very mental. So they kind of had to give me the heads up then that I was going first, because if they just sprung it on us like the day before, I would have been freaked out. So she let me know like a couple of days in advance. We're thinking about having you go first. Yeah. Do you think you can handle that? Are you going to be okay? And I was like, yeah, I think I can handle it. And she kind of looked at me and she was like, I don't believe you, but like, you got it. We trust you. Your teammates trust you. And she said, I really need you to trust yourself, because we really want to make a statement and we want you to start us off strong, because you have a really, really nice routine. So having her believe in me and telling me that she believed in me made me calm down a little bit, because when I competed last year at Brockport, I always went third. It did not matter what the rotation, whatever the order, I always went third on the floor. So I kind of, that was always a thing. So when she told me I was going to be going first, that kind of switched in my mind. Like, okay, I don't have other people to kind of wait on and have time to go through my whole mental routine before I do floor. And now it's like, you're first. You got to kind of get all that stuff done beforehand. So I kind of had to learn how to adjust and how to train my brain to get used to going. And then at the competition, we warmed up, and I could barely warm up. I think I only did like one pass for the 4-minute touch. I did like one front pass and I did a layout, and that was it. I did one leap, and I sat in a split for the rest of the time because I was so nervous. I couldn't like warm up properly. So then everyone got done, and I talked to Coach T. She was like, you got it. We believe in you. Your teammates believe in you. Believe in yourself. I talked to India, and even in the video, like, I'm just standing there, like, nodding my head at India. Like, she's talking to me, and I'm just nodding. Like, yep. She just spoke to me. She's like, okay, you got it. Don't forget what I said. I was like, okay. And it's funny because I watched that video a lot, and you can kind of see it on my face, but I just, like, took a deep breath. I closed my eyes. I said, you got it. And then I went blank from there. I don't remember the routine. I was just going. I remember after I did the first pass and I landed it, I was like, oh, I got it. Like, and it was autopilot. And then last pass, I did a double tuck, and I took a deep breath, and I said, breathe, because I started to I was freaking out a little bit because I was having trouble with my doubles, like, all practice. So I landed it, and immediately I started crying. Because I wasn't thinking about being first or how this number one routine, like the first routine going, would be a historical routine. I kind of just thought, I want to make my team proud. Like, I wanted to do it for my team. I wasn't even thinking about the history behind it. I didn't care that I was going to be the first HBCU gymnast. I just cared that I started off my team strong. That's all I wanted to do. So when I finished the routine and I realized, oh my God, we did it, I started crying, and it was amazing. I don't think that feeling that I had, I can't even explain it. It was just the best feeling ever. Not even just from a historical aspect, but just because I did it. Like, I was like, I did it for my team. Like, we started off with how I wanted to, and that made me really happy.
That is so good. Yeah, when I watch that part of the video back, it's just all the feels. Like, I'm just like, look at that. That is so exciting, because you all are innocently just choosing to go to this school because it was a dream, has always been a dream to go to an HBCU. And never did you all think that it was going to be an opportunity for you to have both your sport that you love and an HBCU. And so you all are just kind of minding your business and all of the things that come with being the first, being creating, making history, being history makers. Like, I don't know that you all necessarily signed up for it. It's like, we just want to do gymnastics, but it was just so much that came with it. And y'all did it extremely, extremely well. So you both have been sharing about it being always being just something that you all wanted to do. HBCU is just something that you wanted to do. And in terms of that representation, talk to the audience and share with them about representation and mattering to you. Either of you can go. Morgan, you want to?
I'll start.
Morgan,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think representation is just so important because a lot of people are on social media now. Like everything people do, you can find it on social media. So I feel like the fact that all of us, we all have different stories on the team. Many people transferred, many people were going to quit gymnastics and then they saw this. There's just so many different stories on our team. And I just think anyone could really do anything if you put your mind to it. So I just feel like us being the first and representing Black girl magic, sacrifice, determination, just we have so many qualities of our team that I just feel like we as Fisk Gymnastics we represent very well. And so I just feel like this season also we just did a very good job of going out there, putting ourselves out there, and just doing it for ourselves, doing it for the fun, and just showing HBCU gymnastics should be a thing and it should become big and more HBCUs should start. So I just can't wait for the next years just to compete with bigger schools and just win and just continue to get better and everything.
Absolutely. And for you, Naimah, there was a couple of things for you as it relates to representation mattering, obviously from the perspective of it being a historically Black college, but also for everyone that's watching us, Naimah was able to also represent her faith, and she was allowed to wear leggings while she competed. And that's not something that in this country, at least I should say it that way, that we are used to seeing. So how did that play into your decision as far as, definitely this is the place that I want to be?
So I've been competing and working out in tights my whole life. I practice Islam. I'm a Muslim, and at my club gym and at Brockport and stuff, it wasn't an issue at all. And when I competed at my first meet in college at Brockport, a judge or a coach, somebody went up to an official went up to Renee, my coach at Brockport, and were like, "Can she do that? She allowed to wear tights?" And Renee was kind of yeah, she came in wearing tights. I don't see why not. So, but they were telling her I don't think that's in the rules. You kind of gotta get things handled before you can do that. So she told me about it and she said, "Don't worry about it. I'm gonna handle it." And the next day, I got an email. And Renee was CC'd in the email, and it was from the NCAA sending me a waiver saying that under religious reasons, you're allowed to wear tights in competition under NCAA. So I was like, okay, cool. I mean, I've been doing this my whole life. It doesn't really matter at this point.
Yeah, it's not new for you.
It's not new for me, but I didn't realize I already had to petition to USAG for me to do it during club gymnastics, and I kind of figured that would transfer over to NCAA, but NCAA and USAG are two different things. So I had to get permission from the NCAA to get it done, and I got it done. And at Fisk, there was no problems. I remember when I had my meeting with Coach T, I told her, I wear tights when I practice and compete. Is that going to be a problem? And she was kind of no. She was confused why I was asking her. It was it's not going to be a problem. And I think it's important when I compete at Fisk and stuff. There's representation because we're all Black girls doing gymnastics, and you don't see a team of Black girls. Normally you see like one or two Black girls on a team, and
That's right.
seeing a team of 15 Black girls on a team, like, that's crazy. That's representation that you need, and we all have different body types, and we all look different. We all have different shades and skin tones. And for me, I'm the only one who's a Muslim gymnast on the team, but I still get that support from my teammates. And also, there's a lot of other Muslim gymnasts and Muslim girls in the audience watching that know that they can also wear tights, not even just for religious reasons, but you never know why someone will cover their legs. People have insecurities or body issues that they want covered up, or they just feel more comfortable. Like, I feel comfortable wearing tights. My other teammates feel comfortable wearing shorts. Some teammates feel comfortable not wearing anything. It's not really one thing about what you should do or what you can't do. It's really just about what makes you feel comfortable. So having that representation of comfort for your athletes I think is a really big deal. And I'm glad everyone now has that option to wear whatever they want.
I agree with you. I don't know if you all can answer this question for me, but it seems like the leotards are smaller and smaller. It just feels like they're getting smaller and smaller. And on some of the girls, it's like maybe a little bit too much is showing. Because on the club level, I know with the gymnastics program that I run, that is a concern for some of the parents. And we also had a young lady whose parent was like, can she wear pants or, the leggings or whatever? And I was like, of course. But it wasn't for, like you, Naimah, it wasn't for religious reason. It was for her father just did not feel comfortable. He didn't think little girls should be out there, exposing. So for whatever reason, it is a good thing that, like you said, Naimah, that people can still participate in the sport and still honor themselves and represent themselves in the manner in which they want. I don't know if y'all saw, but your teammate is watching, and she's saying that she's
Oh, Lindsay.
I saw it.
Lindsay!
Hi, Lindsay. And also, I know you all know Kirsten Johnson. She was the first signee at Talladega, and she actually was on last week. And her dad just gave y'all a big shout out too. That he wanted to let you all know.
Hey.
So we've just been talking about a lot of things, and let's talk about this inaugural year in review. I know when you all came to Athens and I met you all over at the University of Georgia, you all come with a whole entourage, because I remember going to meeting you all at the hotel so that we could have our talk. And I was just the cameras that converged on me. I was like, ooh, was not ready for all of that. Talk about the year in review and all that you took in and learned, and just share.
Yeah. I guess I'll start again. I feel like this year we did, again, just a great job of everything, gymnastics side, getting to learn one another, because you had 15 different girls from different states all around the world come to one state, live on the same dorm, go to the same school. It's a small school, go to practice together every single day. So it took some time, like, learning each other and learning how different people work, but that comes with life, that comes with teammates. We're all girls, that comes with girls as well. So I'm just really glad that we have all, like, grown to learn each other and also to love one another, because at the end of the day, we are all sisters. We are all Black girls who live in this world. So I'm just happy that I have I already have sisters, but now I have my gym sisters that will forever be my friends, my teammates, sisters forever. So, that's one side. And then the other side about the cameras and everything. Oh my goodness. It was like everywhere we went. Oh, are you part of Fisk Gymnastics? Are you part of Fisk Gymnastics? Like, oh my gosh. And also, like, we had cameras with us for some of the meets, because I don't even know if I'm supposed to. I think I can.
I don't know. There's a documentary
there's a
documentary.
The documentary. We had cameras coming with us for some of the meets, and so that was also just another thing, because it's like you try to focus on yourself for the meets, but it's like you have cameras coming in looking at you, like, when you're trying to get in your meet mode, and it's like you have to stay focused, but it's also like, whoa, like, I'm going to be on camera, So it's like, it's something that you definitely have to learn.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I've got along the lines of reviewing year two, Naima, I want to ask you, what is it that you would like to share with the gymnasts at Talladega, like you didn't know, and now that you've been through your inaugural year, is there some inside suggestions you can offer to those
Oh,
ladies?
yeah. Um, so just for like just general college advice, because I have transferred a lot and I've been to both a PWI and HBCU, but um being a student athlete, you're a student first. I learned
Say that
that
again,
my
Naima.
very
Repeat that
first
part.
semester. You're a student
Yes.
first. You're a student athlete. So, especially going to an HBCU, and I learned this my first semester because yeah, I've been in college before, but being at an HBCU is completely different than being at your high school or at a PWI that you may have been at before.
Yeah.
You need to stay focused because HBCUs are fun and there's a lot going on. There's a lot of active campus participation, and
Yes, it
I
is.
think Talladega is a pretty small school. Like Fisk is a
It
small school,
is. It
so for the
is.
most part, you are gonna make friends, and you're gonna know your professors, you're gonna know your dean, and you're gonna know everybody on a more personal level than if you were at a bigger school.
Yeah.
But you gotta find a way to balance everything. If you can just stay on top of your schoolwork, as soon as you get an assignment, start working on it now, get it done, and then be free to do whatever else you want. But if you don't have good academics, then you're not going to be eligible to have good athletics, because when you should be focusing on, a competition or a meet or practice, you're thinking about that school assignment that's due at
Yeah.
11:59 that you didn't start until like that day. So please remember to be a student first. And also, because I believe this is a new program, so everybody coming in is most likely going to be a freshman. And that's the same thing we had. We had a couple transfers, such as myself, but we also had all freshmen come in. And this was
Mhm.
their first experience with college gymnastics. You're going to travel every single weekend. You're going to be in a
Yeah,
different
meat
hotel
season
every
is
single
no
weekend.
joke.
Yep.
No
It's
joke.
not like, I feel like in club gymnastics, I may be wrong, but for me, like we would have a meet every week, but like we also didn't. Like there'd be a break sometimes, like sometimes every
Yes.
2 weeks,
Mhm.
or
Yes.
like yeah, and then like you go to the meet, but then you're going back home, and then you're chill and you practice, and you don't have to leave Wednesday to go to a meet for Saturday. You leave Friday or you leave Saturday morning to go to that meet.
Mhm.
And when you're in college, you're gonna be traveling a lot, and it's gonna be a little hard to do your schoolwork. You gotta find time to get it done. So like we were doing
Mhm.
schoolwork on the bus, we were doing schoolwork in the
Yeah.
airport, we were doing schoolwork in the hotels, wherever we could find time. But also for us, like we had cameras and stuff everywhere. We had to be
Yes.
at events and we had to go talk to alumni and things like that. So really, we were getting schoolwork in whenever we could, and then we would come
Right.
home 2 days later. We're leaving again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just remember to find a balance. Really try to stay focused on your school as much as you can, but still have fun. Like I feel like we kind of made it work to have fun, but also to be a student. And then gymnastics, everything come together.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Morgan, I was going to ask you, as far as the attention that it brings being the first, and obviously they're going to be the second. However, for their campus, they're the first. And so now that you've come through your inaugural year, what advice would you give to the Talladega gymnast as it relates to the attention and how to handle that?
Yeah. I would definitely say it takes time. Don't be too hard on yourself. Personally, me, like, yes, I like struggled sometimes, like like the camera's always being in your face. Like also at meets, the camera is always looking at you. Like you are
Oh,
always on TV. So
every
um
time.
it's very important to work on your facial expressions, because if you have it's okay to fall. It's okay to have a bad meet, a bad routine, whatever it is, but you do have to make sure that you are aware of your body language and your face expressions. And that's something that I had to work on as well this season. I'm still working on it because like I don't like to mess up, obviously, but I know in life you mess up, you fall in routines, but I definitely had to learn to like make sure I kept my body language good and my face expressions good, because the cameras are always on you. So you just have to really be aware of that.
Absolutely. I want to ask both of you ladies this question. And looking back on this past season, your first inaugural season, I guess first and inaugural, that's kind of counter. But anyway, it's the inaugural season. And I want you to think and answer this question. What is your favorite memory from this from this season?
That's
I know
not a
that's
fair
hard.
question.
It's
There's
not.
so
I
many.
know.
So there's
Exactly. I know.
Okay, can I do like 3? Is that okay?
Sure, Naima,
Like
you go
real
ahead.
quick ones. Okay.
Just
So
share.
my first one would obviously be going first. Like being the very first and going first. That's a memory I'm gonna be bragging about that forever. That's a memory that will never go away.
Absolutely.
There was a moment early in the season. It was at one of the Tennessee meet, the first Tennessee meet we had. And one of our teammates actually like fell and she was hurt. And she couldn't finish the routine. And Kiara, one of our teammates, she wasn't doing floor. She was not supposed to do floor, so she didn't warm up. She didn't do a 4-minute touch. She was just cheering us on. And then I see her taking off her jacket and like jumping on the floor on the side. I'm like, "Are you about to do this routine?" She's like, "Yeah, I haven't done a routine all week." Like she was not practicing floor because she wasn't gonna do floor. But because she saw that our teammate Jordan, that she had gotten hurt, she was like more than willing to just jump in and do the routine, and she nailed that routine. I think she got like a 9.85 or something. But I remember that moment, and it was an amazing moment because we were all screaming, cheering so hard for her, and we knew that she hasn't warmed up or anything. But the more we cheered and screamed, it seemed like the better she got. And at the end, we all were just sobbing, crying. Like, I can't believe you did that. That was amazing. And then my last favorite memory was the home meet, because that was our first home meet. And we were telling all of our friends at school like the whole week, like, y'all better show up. We want to see everybody there. And I think my English professor came and he told me like after the meet, he's like, "You did really good." And I was like, "Yeah, that's why I turned that paper in late the other day because I was practicing." He's like, "Oh, no problem." But seeing like all of our friends and family and like alumni and like people that I'm in my class with every day, even my professor, like seeing them show up and support us was amazing. We had our campus DJ, Aaron. He was there, so I was like, "Hey, Aaron!" Like,
that's so cool.
Like,
that is so cool.
It was so fun. The whole meet was like my favorite memory.
Nice. Okay, Morgan, favorite memory from the season.
I have so many, literally. But okay, a couple of them. I'm gonna do a couple too because I just can't. But my first one was when I stuck my vault at the first meet because I did have a fall on floor, which was our first event. And then I came back in the next event and stuck my vault. And that's
9-9.
Another tip. You can always.
I know she kind of conveniently leaves out that score, right?
Yeah, she got a 9-9 and then she won vault.
That part. Like she's just going through that
and
part.
won vault at the very first.
The very first meet. Yes. Okay.
One vault.
Okay. We digress. Go ahead, Morgan. Continue.
That was one of my favorites. And then also at the Georgia meet, I won all around. And I was just proud of myself because I know that like I was going against like good gymnasts like Georgia gym, like so I was just very proud of myself for that. My third one was again the home meet. It was just like HBCU vibe all around. It was just so like we had the music that we wanted to play. We had our majorette dancers, our Lady of Rage there, our cheerleaders there, our friends, our just everyone. It was so fun, and we won that meet. So I was
you did.
Yes.
And then also my goal this season was to make it to nationals, and I did that. So I was just super excited. So to compete again.
I mean, y'all had so many firsts. It is just unbelievable. Just keeping up with all the firsts and making history. And to your point, Naimah, being the first to do the floor routine, that's now in the history books. That's something people are going to, like you all mentioned Gabby, people mentioned Simone, and now they're going to be mentioning Fisk and Morgan and Naimah and all the things that little girls are going to be doing research papers. And when Halloween comes, they're going to be dressing up as Fisk gymnasts, and so
I would cry if I saw that. Like, that is so cute.
Yes. Like,
there was a girl, she did her Black History Month project on me. Like, she DM'd me on Instagram and she was like, is it okay if I do my Black History Month project on you? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I did my Black History Month project on like Gabby and Dominic Dawes, and you want to do it? Oh my gosh! And she sent me a picture of like she had like a big bulletin board. She had like my face on it. She had like our team, and I was like, oh.
Isn't that like just so surreal? Like, in your wildest dream, did you ever think that this was going to be you?
No, like
no.
When I thought about coming to Fisk, all I really thought about was I want to go to an HBCU and I want to do gymnastics, and now I can do both. Like, that was it. I didn't think that it would go viral. I didn't think that we would get a docuseries out of it. I didn't think, and that just shows how important it is. I didn't think I thought it was a big deal, but I thought it was a big deal because in HBCU and it's gymnastics. I didn't realize other people felt so strongly about it or that they cared so much until we started getting all the support from people. Like, when we had our intra squad, SZA reposted the video from our intra squad, and then the Shade Room reposted it. I'm just like, what's going on? These like,
and Amanda Seals is one of your biggest fans. Like, she's
I'm one of her biggest fans. So for her to like repost and talk about us, I'm like, what?
Yeah. Morgan, talk about what it was like to be on J-HUD.
Oh, that was super fun. Like, that was also one of my favorite moments as well, just because like we hadn't even started season yet. We hadn't even competed, shown what we had, anything. And we got asked, like, it was like 5 of us, I think, right, Naimah? It was like 5 of us who went to LA, and it was just so fun. It was so crazy, like, being on live. Well, wait, it wasn't live, but
no, it was live. There was a live audience.
Oh yeah,
the audience was live.
They didn't broadcast it live, but the audience was live.
Audience was live, yes.
And we were just like talking on there, talking about like getting ready for season, and we did a little performance, and that was just so fun as well. I wish the whole team could have came to that, but like it was just so fun. And J-HUD,
I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
We didn't expect it.
Is she just a really down to earth person?
Yes, and she's pretty.
So nice. Yes. Oh my gosh.
She's really sweet.
Oh, that is so exciting. Now, one of the things that people may not know is that at the PWI schools, they have each sport has their own space. Mm-hmm. So if there's a gymnastics, they have their own gymnastics facility there on campus. For you all, that is not the case. You all actually train at a local gym. Talk about how that was different for you all. Not technically having a home, but this gym opening their doors and making their home your home.
Yeah. You want to start, Naimah?
Oh, okay. I'll go and then you go. So for me, because I did go to 2 schools that I was used to just walking out my dorm and walking to the gym. It was different for me to be like, oh wait, I need to actually drive to the gym a little bit away. And it was so kind and considerate of them to let us use their space, especially because they're still a gym. They still have their own classes and camps and events that they have going on.
Right.
But they were very nice in letting us use their space. And they have like little girls that watch us and that want to see what we're doing all the time. So it was a bit of a change for me to get used to. But over time, I picked up on it, and I do enjoy going over there and seeing those girls and the coaches letting us be there and working out. I do still want us to have our own facility at some point, but for now, like I'm happy at that gym, and I'm glad that they opened their doors to us.
Yeah. Absolutely. Morgan, share the name of the gym with the audience.
Yeah. So it's called Nashville Gymnastics Training Center. And what I have to say about it is just I'm very grateful as well that we have even a gym to work out in, because we could not even have a gym and have to like pull out mats and go somewhere. So I'm just really thankful for them all the staff there is so nice, and they treat us very well, and we treat them well too. We always make sure that we like clean up the gym before we leave and don't leave a mess and everything. And like Naimah was saying, there is these 3 little Black girls. They're all sisters, and they really remind me of me and my sisters as well when we were younger. And so they really just inspire me as well, just to keep going and keep doing good. And just because like at practice, they always are watching us, and like we know also the other girls that are on their team as well. Mm-hmm. We know that they watch us and they cheer us on and we cheer them on. And so it's just like a really just like a big family over there in GTC. So we're really thankful for them.
That is really good. And I just want to say to the audience, if you're watching this live or even if you're watching this on replay, Fisk has a goal of building their own gymnastics facility. And like most big projects, it usually gets put in the out years. But I know with as much support as this team has, that you can go onto their website and you can make donations, because that's what it's going to take. Make the donations so that they can have a home there on campus and they don't have to drive to another gym. Although very appreciative of Nashville Gymnastics Training Center for opening their doors, we want these ladies and all the ladies to come to be able to do it on their campus. And so you can go to Fisk University's website and then click on gymnastics and then figure out how you can make a donation, and or just reach out directly to Coach Tarver. She will give you the information. Let's help them get that gym built sooner rather than later. That is going to be really important. Now, before we wrap up, I want you to talk about your second year. What plans do y'all have now that you've gotten your inaugural year under your belt? And what are you looking forward to most for year 2?
Well, I think what I'm looking forward to the most is having the new recruits come in, the new freshmen, because I feel like now we kind of found a groove and we kind of have things that we like and that we don't like. Having something to pass on is something I'm really looking forward to, especially because this is going to be my senior year for college. I don't know about 5th year or anything yet. I'm looking into that, but this is going to be my senior year. So I really want to focus on the freshmen and make sure that everything I know that I've learned about being at Fisk so far, I get to pass on to them. So then by the time I'm gone, that legacy will continue and there'll just be more and more Fisk gymnastics in the future.
Oh, that is so exciting. What about you, Morgan? What are you looking forward to? You set so many records. You had an amazing year, and you said something earlier about when you shared about the experience when you got to Georgia and the competition at Georgia. And you said there were so many good gymnasts there. You actually were one of those. And I don't ever want you to think that you're not in that category. You are in that category, very much so. That's why you were heavily sought after by Arkansas and by Fisk, because you are on that level. So I just want to make sure, as your mindset coach, that I just kind of throw that in there a little bit. But what are you looking forward to in year 2?
I'm also looking forward to the new recruits that are coming in. I'm happy because we'll have more teams, more scores to put up, and I'm just happy that Fisk Gymnastics is evolving. We're gonna keep growing, getting better, and just excited for that. And also personally, I'm excited for just to compete again. I love to compete. I love to perform and everything. So I can't wait for my next floor team. I don't know. That's just I'm
so excited for the floor teams.
Listen, I think that is a highlight just in gymnastics in general. Floor is just so fun because you can kind of let go a little bit, and it's not, I don't know. Well, Naimah might disagree with us, but it doesn't seem, I know when I was doing gymnastics, floor, I wasn't as nervous on floor as I was at the other events.
Yeah.
Just because it also helps to, and I was like, I don't know about all
I
that.
don't know.
But when the crowd, especially at you all's level, the crowd really gets behind you and they really get into your music. And that just kind of, even if you are nervous, it helps to make it, just a little bit better. So I really hate that we've come to the end of this. I could go on and on with you all, and I'm so appreciative of you all coming on and talking with me and sharing with the audience. I have enjoyed working with you all this past season. I'm looking forward to us to continue to work together, and also with the new people that are coming in. That was a whole lot of fun. I do a call to actions for my audience, and this is how you can follow both Morgan and Naimah. Just they're both on Instagram and they're both on TikTok. And Naimah, I don't think I got to ask you before, but did I get your handles right on both of those?
Yeah, I just have like a lot of Instagram accounts. I have like my main and my gymnastics one. So that's my gymnastics one. That's right. And the TikTok one, it's I don't really use TikTok. So
you don't really use TikTok. Okay, no worries.
Should,
well,
but I just
actually, if you all follow her on TikTok, then you'll encourage her to become more active there on TikTok. So
Yeah.
no pressure,
Yeah.
no pressure at all. But make sure you follow them up, offer them words of encouragement. If you are a gymnast and you're experiencing certain things, I'm quite sure they have too. And just hit them up in their DMs and let them, share with you. Let them mentor you, even from afar. If you are on that search for college and an HBCU hasn't been on your radar, definitely put that on your radar and reach out to them about it and ask them, just to share with you their experience. Lindsay wanted you all to know that she loves you.
I love you too, Lindsay.
So sweet. And just they're there to help. They want to share their experience with you so you can have an enjoyable time. Now, I do something with my guests that you all were not aware of that we're going to do, but it's called Final Thoughts. It's okay. It's not a test. I know you all have just come through finals, but it's easy. You're going to be able to knock this out of the park. Okay, so for final thoughts, I want each of you to think about the question when it comes to making history or being the first to do something. What is the one mindset shift that you would like to leave with the audience?
That's a loaded question.
And I told you, I'm good.
Wait, can you ask the question again?
I can, absolutely. So when it comes to being the first and making history, what is the one mindset shift that you would like to leave with the audience if they're embarking on doing something for the first time and possibly the very first time, not only the first time for themselves, but the very first time for anyone? Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am.
Confidence, because you have to believe in yourself that you can do it, whether it's the skill, the routine, even outside like life things. I just feel like that has really helped me throughout gymnastics and this year as well. Just having confidence in yourself and knowing that you can do anything that you put your mind to.
Absolutely. You've got a congratulations again from Kirsten's dad. He's saying
Thank you.
congratulations. And I'm pretty sure that you all are going to have a meet together. So that'll be super exciting to have both of you all competing at the same time. Yes, that's going to be so exciting to watch that. I cannot wait. Okay, Naimah, final thoughts. Okay. What is the one mindset shift for just making history and representing who you are?
Well, I have a quote that I live by that I was taught. I saw Kirsten. Sorry. I love Kirsten. She's my favorite. Okay.
Hey, Kirsten.
Hi, Kirsten.
Kirsten, you're bombing my podcast there, girl.
Sorry, I love Kirsten. She's so good. Okay. There's a quote that I was taught since I was really, really, really young, and I kind of was using it as my guide through the whole season. To always accept your own and be yourself. I feel like a lot of times, for me personally, I I would try to do things differently to try to, like, I can't really explain it, but I feel like sometimes it's like I don't feel like I'm my best self, or I try to do things differently than I would usually do to try to see if that works different or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's always better to just be who you are and not change who you are for anything. I think especially going to an HBCU, I'm able to be myself and be who I am because I'm around people that look like me and that are being themselves and not changing themselves for anything. So being around that inspires me to really just be open to who I am and accepting who I am. And especially going to HBCU, that representation is really important to me. So, like, just always remember that you are enough. And when you accept who you are and what you do, then you just get better and better. You don't have to change who you are in order to get ahead or to make history. As long as you just do what you do and be who you are, then you're going to be successful no matter what.
That was excellent. Both of you gave great answers. I told y'all you were going to knock that out of the park. Well, thank you again for joining me on my podcast. And I hope that you all will come back and share more with us. Just anytime you're no longer a guest, you can just say, hey, Coach Christina, I want to come talk to your audience. And I'm going to always have a place and a seat for you here and a mic for you here on this podcast.
Yes. Thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm going to say goodbye to the audience and I'll be right back with you.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Thank you all again for joining us. That was so much fun. And I hate that we have to end, but that's how things go. Thank you all for supporting me on this podcast. And if you aren't following me on all of my social media, I ask you to please do so. And even if you are, I ask that you share it with family and friends. If you are an athlete or a coach and you would like to appear on Conversations with Coach, I would love to have you as a guest. You can reach out to me either in my DMs on my social media, or you can visit my website and just let me know, hey, I would like to come and have a conversation with you. It's a lot of fun, and I would love to have you as my guest. And thank you all so much for being active in the chat and actually supporting these girls and keeping the conversation alive and going. We really appreciate you so much. And until next time, remember, your life is only as good as your mindset. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to Conversations with Coach. Please be sure to follow Coach Christina on all of her social media platforms. And remember, life is only as good as your mindset.